Welcome to the second part of how to practice Qi Gong, or better yet, our Qi Gong. We already named 5 things that are important for practice. We already discussed the goal that you have to set, and we already discussed the time and all the aspects of time that you have to consider when you practice Qi Gong. Now we're going further with rhythm. Rhythm, of course, practice is rhythm, but you also need to have a rhythm in your day, a rhythm in your week to know how to practice Qigong. Practice every day and practice in a time that you feel doing it in the best way that you can, and make sure it becomes something that you're really gonna miss if you're not doing it. Make sure it becomes something that you long for because the feeling is so good. And that will sustain your rhythm, help you sustain your rhythm. If you want to put it into a rhythm, you best put it in place of something that you now already have in a rhythm. And then replace it. Maybe a Netflix series or maybe something else. You can get up more early in the morning and go to bed more early. So that also works and gives you maybe an hour time. Don't stuff it in a day that's already too full. If your rhythm is not a healthy rhythm, then that's the first thing that you need to do. That goes before all exercises. You need to have a healthy rhythm in your week. For repetition lies the strength and the process of progress. And in the feeling to be at ease lies the strength to really focus. And all that you can find in rhythm. Without rhythm, these things cannot exist. Next item is to pick a spot. Now this is a tricky one, because not everybody lives near or in a very nice place to do Qigong. So what's a good spot? First of all, a good spot is a spot where nobody bothers you. Practicing in nature is great because of the pure energy, but nature can also be a source of bother, because the elements of nature, like too much cold, too much heat, too much sun, too much wind, too much rain, they can cause a lot of problems. Imagine you are working with energy. And of course, the strongest energy present will affect you the most. Now, if that's an invasive energy from nature, then you can wind up with a lot of problems. It can even be dangerous for you. Personally, I like to practice in the forest. In the forest, everything is nice and quiet. There's not too much wind. There's shadow from the sun. And if it's cold, I can dress for it. And the times that it rains, well, it rains a lot in our country, but the times that it really rains when I practice, it almost never happens. Not everybody lives near a forest. And maybe you live in a big city and it's all street, concrete, buildings around you. You can always practice indoors, of course. And you can make the environment indoors as best for you as it can be. Like with plants, like with a water fountain or colors, scent maybe, but also just the feeling that you're there to practice can make it ideal spot for you. Also, of course, you have these power spots. These power spots in nature, this could be a mountaintop or a deep valley, near a lake or on the beach. And these power spots are great. But also remember that the forces of nature are more present over there and also can be harming for you. And if you can use a power spot to enhance your energy, to work with your energy more deep or more towards that spot, then it's great, of course. So what is the wrong spot? There's not really a wrong spot, except for the spot where you always get disturbed by anything or everyone. by traffic, by people, by sounds, by smell, by pollution. Well, you can make it as bad as you want, and then that, of course, that's a wrong spot. But I don't think you will pick a wrong spot. You will pick a spot where you feel nicely comfortable, and you're convinced that you can practice there. So much for the spots. Let's go to the feedback. So what's feedback going to do for you? Feedback is not only feedback, it can also be looking forward. But what you're doing is you're looking at energy. Now you can look at energy by reading books. You can look at energy by looking at YouTube, looking movies about energy, by people talking about energy. And in this way you also get feedback for yourself on what you're doing and a confirmation from what you feel. Now I have to warn you, YouTube is full with pearls of beautiful videos, but it also contains a lot of rubbish with a lot of blah-de-blah figures that just want their face on YouTube. Now of course you want some pointers, what to read, which writers to look at or which talkers to look at, but I leave it up to you. You do have to do some work yourself as well, and I don't know where your interest lies. Mine lies with nature. I look at things to compare with nature. I look at science of nature and how it works, and at the bigger picture, and then I compare it with what I do, and I compare it with other things. And this is how I like to look at energy. The second thing to get your feedback is to keep a journal. Just buy a little book, write down the date, the time, and the exercises that you're doing, and write down what was so special about that day, what went good, what went not so good, what went wrong maybe even, and then what happened extra, like an extra feeling in your body or in your energy, or that can be immediately or that can later in the day. So write this down, and you don't have to look at it at all, you don't have to remember it, but after a while and you look back, then you think, oh, this is what happened then, and now I'm progressing. You can also do this, of course, on your phone and not buy a notebook, but I'm not really the person to promote your phone because it's attached to your daily rat racing life that you want to escape from and that you want to change into a nice and comfortable being with yourself.